What do you see with a little helicopter toy or a kite? What about a bike? Can you make something out of them? What if you add a bird to the mix? Wilbur and Orville Wright learned from everything, played with everything, talked through different ideas together, built things together, even flew together. I've researched David McCullough's book, The Wright Brothers, and visited the Memorial Center in North Carolina, where they constructed and flew the world's first flying machine, what we now call the airplane. With support of friends and family, Wilbur and Orville gained inspiration from knowledge and life's experiences that helped navigate them on their journey to create the first aircraft in history. Despite never graduating high school, both boys loved to read books and to tinker with things. A few influential things and events happened in the brothers' lives that would lead them to designing their plane. When they were children, their dad gave them a simple helicopter toy, and it was much like this one, but it had a rubber band on the end that would help launch it into the air, and they would launch it over and over again, watching the propellers move as it would soar in the air. In their 20s, they opened a bike shop where they sold and repaired bikes, and they even designed 2 bikes of their own. In 1896, Orville came down with typhoid fever, but it was while sick in bed that he began reading about gliders. Many people are trying to create their own, and flying machines as well, but they didn't have any luck. Wilbur and Orville became fascinated. They tried to read as much as they could about flight. They even studied the flight of different birds. In 1899, Wilbur wrote to the Smithsonian asking for information about other models and their failures so they could create their own aircraft. They wrote to the U.S. Weather Bureau in Washington asking where would be the best place to fly their plane. And they were told, go to North Carolina, or the Outer Banks in North Carolina. It has good winds and good sand. So in 1900, they settled near Kitty Hawk in the Outer Banks. They thought, they said, before we can put a motor on something, we have to successfully fly in a glider. They thought a problem with their predecessors was that it had no equilibrium, like on a bike. So they designed a glider with equilibrium in mind. Despite fixing the problem of equilibrium, they had problem after problem. They kept a journal every day to keep track of their ideas, their crashes, their problems, their small successes. After much contemplation on how birds move through the sky, they changed their wings to be more flexible, to twist and to warp. Despite all the changes that they made, they were not having any success. So in 1901, the Wright brothers went home, ready to give up and deflated. Catherine, their sister, gave them encouragement while they worked on smaller models and a revolutionary handmade wind tunnel that they made. Wilbur gave a speech to a group of engineers introducing their model for the first time to the public. And it wasn't until after they talked to this group of experts that they realized that their models and ideas far surpassed others in their field. Rejuvenated, in 1902, they went back to Kitty Hawk with a new design. Unfortunately, it just went around in circles. One night, Orville had an idea to put a rudder or tail on the end of the glider to move with the wings. The new design worked. It broke a record of going 30 seconds, 600 feet. Excited, they knew that they could put a motor on it now, so they went back to Ohio to build the motor. Once it was done, the 12-horsepower motor, they transported it back to Kitty Hawk. December 14, 1903, the plane is ready. They flip a coin to see who's going to fly first. Wilbur won. He got on and takes off. He pulled up too hard, overcorrected, taking a nosedive into the sand. Fail. So the repairs are done. December 17, 1903. It's Orville's turn now. Once the engine warms up, he gets on, and the flying machine slowly takes off. Once it left the track, it goes for 12 seconds, 120 feet. He's off. It's airborne. They did a few runs that day. The last run going 852 feet for 59 seconds. Success! It only took them 4 years to build that plane. With Wilbur's and Orville's inquisitive nature, dedication, and perseverance, the Wright brothers were able to construct and fly the world's first flying machine. Whether it be with a bird or a bike, as long as you can learn everything and dream and work hard, you can build anything. You can accomplish anything, just like the Wright brothers.